Hi, this review is for the NC Star pistol slash scope mount. And this one is for the Walther P22, but it's also for a handful of other random pistols. And you can see it's only mounted on one side. Now, I kind of bought this for my P22 because the other one was much more expensive, and it's more of a fun gun thing. And figured 22, you know what? I'll put a red dot on that. Why not? Would I put that on a higher caliber, like a 9mm or 38 or 40 or anything like that? Probably not. But at least tell you from the experience I've had with this with the P22, because like I said, I was searching for the P22 red dot scope mounts, and this was by far cheaper than the other one. Well, neat little factor is it does have an under rail, so if you still want to mount a flashlight on there, or if you did your $5 tax stamp for any other weapon, a pistol grip, definitely a cool little thing to do. It's really neat there. And then it, of course, just has a standard flat top on there. Now, this looks pretty darn cool, no real complaints. But at first when I took it out, I was like, oh, this thing is rad, pretty awesome. But there is a huge disadvantage, and I put this on my Walther P99 also, but more or less, because of how high this rises. Now, some pistols, it probably doesn't do this. Some pistols, I guess they're all a little bit different. But because of how it fits on here, I actually talked in my earlier review about the P22 about how this is the only pistol that I've ever shot that when it ejects, it'll actually eject it at you at times. And usually it's to the side, but it can eject it at you. There's been a couple times where it's went down my shirt or flicked me in the forehead. It's definitely something to wear eye protection of some sort for. And so I've always wore one, especially if I bring this handgun out. But the biggest disadvantage about this scope mount is there's been countless times, for an actual estimate, I'd probably say about a third of the time to a half, that you fire it and the shell drops right to the side, like hits up, drops right to the side. It's burned either my trigger finger, or if I'm holding it like this, one of my thumbs. So even though it's cheaper, I'm not going to suggest it. I've put it on a couple Glocks, I've put it on my Walther P99, not a fan of it. And of course when I put it on those, I just simply put it on there, didn't bother sighting it in, and it had that same problem. So I would warn people to kind of stay away from it. That's just my little deal. I think I'll keep it. I might sell it here, but for the price, it's like, well, I'll just put some gloves on. But again, it's one of those things where it's neat, but it's worth paying a little bit for. Paying a little bit more for it. And even like the Glock scope mounts are like $35. You can't go wrong. So hope this helps anybody that's thinking about getting an NC Star pistol scope or red dot mount in the future. So otherwise for zeroing it, it's been pretty well. The only problem I could see is because you notice it's a little wiggly there. That's actually moving with the frame. As if you ever did put any other weapon like a pistol grip on here, I could see that possibly messing that up. But otherwise, for holding zero, it does a really good job at that. So, and then also you are able to use, you won't be able to see it here, but you're able to use your iron sights very easily with that. And I think when they designed the scope mount, that's one thing that they kept in mind, is being able to use your iron sights with the fact of the red dot. So I think that's something that they were planning on when they originally made it. But not going to go on too much more about this. And it is aluminum. It's not polymer of any sort. So if anyone was wondering about that. So, all right. If you have any questions, just feel free to shoot them or ask me personally for the YouTube. So.